Good morning, everyone. I'm Charlita. For those of you that are new, for those of you that are returning, welcome back. So you saw the title. Let's get into it. I had a breakdown last week, and it wasn't one particular thing and that led up to that. It was an accumulation of things that led me to go right back to all of that negative self-talk. All of those negative thoughts just came right back to my head. And I wanted to come on here not to talk about that, but to talk about what happens or how you can get out of that when you go back to that negative way of thinking. Because a lot of times when you are in the process of healing, often you may have a breakdown, or you may have a bad day, or you may find yourself going back to a place that you thought you overcame. And you may think that because you are going back to a previous pattern, that that is actually a setback, when in reality, it is part of the process. So let's talk about that. So the first thing that I had to do, and this is kind of hard when you are in that moment of going through that, is I had to give myself permission to feel the way that I felt. And instead of trying to hold it back, or I just had to just give myself permission to just feel it. And then secondly, I also try to remember that this is just temporary. And that it will pass, because pain is never permanent. It always passes. And things in general, it has a beginning and it has an end. So I had to also tell myself that. And then I also just wrote down exactly what I was feeling. And I also talked to my life coach, and I would suggest that if you can talk to someone in that moment and have a conversation about how you feel. And sometimes you just need somebody to just listen, not necessarily give you advice or whatever, but someone to just listen to you and just acknowledge how you're feeling. So that also was helpful in that time period. And the other thing is I had to really think about how far I have come. Because often we have a tendency to not live in the present moment. And if you are a person that has a lot of ambitions and goals, and if you want things, sometimes, we just want things right now. And I know that me personally, there is a great deal of stuff that I want to accomplish. And I know that, I have mentioned before that I have a 44th birthday that is literally just days away. And often we get caught up in this timeline that we have for achieving certain goals, or just certain expectations that we have put out for ourselves. And when that is not met, we often have feelings of failure. And the one thing is, life is a journey. It's not a race. And we have to not compare ourselves to others, because everybody's experience is going to be different. Two people can go through the same thing but experience it differently. And that is the other thing that was happening in that moment, is I was comparing myself to other people. And although in my logical mind, I was telling myself, why are you doing this to yourself? Because whenever you compare yourself to someone else, it's a dream killer, because you just immediately are going to just feel bad, and you have to realize that it's not that you really have to get to the point where comparing yourself to other people. I mean, sometimes that can give you motivation, but at the same time, one of the things you have to realize is everybody's experience is going to be different, and you have to set an expectation for what you want for yourself out of life, not somebody else's life, but what you actually want for you and what happiness looks like for you. And so I had to remind myself in that moment of how far I've actually come, and to also accept that even I really want to be, and when I actually do get all the things that I actually want, I want to be completely in a healed space, so that way I can fully enjoy, whatever it is that I want. I want to be able to actually enjoy those things. And when I get those things, I want to be completely whole. I don't want to be still coming from an unhealed place. So that's the other thing as well, because whatever it is that you desire or that you want out of life, you will get it. But it would be far better for you to get those things when you are actually 100% healed, so that way you can fully enjoy it. And I think that as hard as it is, in those moments when we are at our lowest, to really just look at this as a time to really dig deep and to discover exactly who we are, and to do the work, because when those opportunities arise, we really want to be in a position where we can accept that experience. And just keep in mind that this is just part of the process. As dark and as ugly as it is, it's all part of the journey. So I'm in a much better headspace right now, and that's just something that I think is important to acknowledge, that whenever you do go back to perhaps a way of thinking when you are in this healing journey, that it is not a setback. It is part of the process, and it is only temporary. It's not going to last forever. And just remind yourself of how far you have come along. So I hope that this helped someone. If you're going through a hard time right now, I completely can relate to that. And let's continue this conversation in the comments as always. And I hope all of you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.